Hey there, Mike Watkins here with the Code Chasers Digital Marketing. Listen, in this video, I'm going to break down to you our Google ad strategy for pressure washing businesses that we use here at the Code Chasers to help scale pressure washing businesses to six figures, multiple six figures, and seven figures consistently. I'm going to break down to you exactly how we do it and how you can do it in your own pressure washing business as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. So why Google ads for pressure washing businesses? Well, it's a lot of reasons why. Let's go ahead and break it down in this video. 90% of customers on Google actually use it to find local services. So that might be driveway cleaning, pressure washing, roof cleaning, things like that, right? So 9 times out of 10, most of your clients online are coming through Google. And when you're putting in those searches like pressure washing near me, power washing near me, siding clean near me, roof clean near me, things like that, right? Most of the time, if you're paying attention, most of the searches that are popping up, at the first, top 3 are Google guaranteed Google ads sponsored results, right? So when you're paying for Google ads in your pressure washing business, you're basically paying for that top spot, right? You're not going to be at the bottom 10 or, not even on the first page. You're paying to be on that top spot on Google, right? And you're doing a lot of pinpointed, targeted marketing to get better leads and have less of a wasted budget when it comes to Google ads as well. And hopefully when you're running your Google ads in your pressure washing business, you have a much higher marketing budget than you would be doing for Facebook ads. Because if you don't have a high marketing budget, you're not going to be able to run Google ads effectively in your pressure washing business either, right? So that's very, very important. So what are some key components for a successful Google ads campaign, right? One of the big things we focus on here at the Code Chasers Digital Marketing is targeting, and making sure that your targeting is proper, it's done correctly, because really when your targeting is not done correctly on a Google ad or a Facebook ad, you're going to waste hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in marketing budget and marketing spend. So you want to make sure that that's correct, right? So location, demographics, all those things are very, very important for a successful Google ads campaign. Keyword selection. You want to make sure you're selecting those proper keywords for your pressure washing business in your area. We're going to talk about the keyword tracking, keyword selection, and things like that a little bit later in the video as well. But strategic budgeting, making sure that your daily and monthly budget for your Google ad is set correctly, and you're monitoring that Google ad consistently every single week, really every single day, and seeing exactly how many leads you generated, what was your cost per lead, your cost per click, all that stuff like that, right? Really looking at that acquisition cost in your pressure washing business as well is very, very important for your success, as well as having an effective ad copy on that Google ad as well. So this is step 1, right? What is your campaign goal and what is your type? We're going to break all this down in 7 steps on exactly how to set up your Google ad and how to monitor it effectively for your pressure washing business. This is step 1. What is your campaign goal and what type of Google ad do you want to run? I would choose lead generation or website traffic. Why I would do that is because you really want to drive traffic to that website and have people fill out their information, assuming you have some sort of lead form on your website that can get their name, last name, email, phone number, address, what services they're interested in, things like that effectively on your website. You can select website traffic and lead generation. And you want to select search network as campaign types that you're able to have those text ads on Google search results, right? And I think a lot of people, when you're kind of at this campaign selection stage, get very confused on exactly what kind of campaign that they should actually select for their pressure washing business. But you want to select lead generation or website traffic as the the type of campaign you want to select in your pressure washing business. And the type is a search network, so you can have those text ads on those Google search results. And you really want to avoid those display or video campaigns for your first campaign. I would really focus on intent, right? So they have that really strong intent that they want pressure washing services, right? That's kind of the big difference between Google ads and Facebook ads, is that, with Google ads, these are all very much intent-based services. What do I mean? When they're putting in pressure washing near me, pressure washing in XYZ city, they want pressure washing now, right? So it's our job to secure that lead, get their information, and get them on our website through a lead form, call us, get them to call us, things like that, right? So that's kind of what I would do when it comes to campaign goal and type. When it comes to location targeting, this is step 2. Really, as soon as you're paying for a Google ad, you have instant visibility. You're going to show up that first day, right? Especially those very high intent searches, those searches that have very high amounts of search volume, right? And with location targeting, I mean, we talk about this a lot at the Code Chasers as well. You can actually target those specific zip codes, service areas, and those keywords that you're most profitable in your pressure washing business. For example, let's just say my most profitable city is Dallas, Texas. I got some really, popping zip codes there. I've got like 5 or 6 zip codes that are doing really, really well there. I can specifically target and retarget all those different zip codes that I see are the most lucrative for my pressure washing business using Google Ads. That's why that location targeting is very, very important for your pressure washing business as well. Google Ads is really great for new businesses as well. Also, if you might have a slow season, you can kind of test out some new areas, some new locations to see kind of what works and what doesn't. And if you're a newer business, you actually have marketing budget. Google Ads is a very, very great way to actually get some leads to the door, get some momentum building, things like that, right? And I would argue Google Ads has a very easy and trackable ROI with call tracking and those landing pages and things like that, because you can really be tracking, okay, I spent this amount on my Google ad and I got this amount of leads, right? It's very, very straightforward. If you have that landing page, you have that website, you can track your ROI with your Google ads in your pressure washing business very, very easily, right? And you can also test and tweak, as I said, different offers, right? So 50% off your first cleaning, 20% off, your first roof cleaning, something like that, to really get the buzz growing about your company, about your Google ad, about what you offer at your company, right? So I think that's very, very important as well. So here are some basics about budgeting for your Google ad. And this is what stumps a lot of people is, well, Michael, I'm trying to set this Google ad. How do I budget for it? What do I do about it? How do I set this up? How much do I spend? Well, let me tell you, I would start off with $15 to $30 per day. Now you're like, well, hold on. That's kind of low. I said, yeah, that is kind of low. $15 to $30 a day is what I would start with, but I would adjust that based on market size, based on what city you're in, and based on where you live, basically, right? So I would really look at, am I in a competitive market? Am I in the country? Am I kind of in the suburbs? Or, what kind of city am I trying to target, right? If I'm trying to target a much bigger city, I need a much higher spend. And I would also look at, and I would even ask, if you're going to work with a marketing agency, what is my competition spending on their Google ads, right? So, if you're working with a marketing agency, they need to be able to kind of give you some sort of frame of reference on how much you need to be spending on your Google ads, on your Facebook ads, even if you're running that, right? So they need to have some sort of guide, right? And you're not just kind of shooting in the dark and kind of hoping something sticks. I would start off with something like $15 to $30 a day and adjust that on market size. Higher budget equals more data and faster optimization. The higher of budget you get, the faster you're going to get that data, the faster you're going to get leads coming in there, and you're actually going to be able to see what works and what doesn't with your pressure washing ads. Don't set it too low. Facebook ads are going to need some volume. Google ads are going to need some volume to learn. That's kind of what I would say. And I would actually use automated bidding, like maximize conversions at the start of my Google ad to make sure everything is still budgeted correctly. So keyword research essentials. These are some keyword research tips that you can be using in your pressure washing business for your Google ads. You need to be using exact match and phrase matches for tight control of exactly who you want to see your Google ad and who exactly you want to market to, right? That's also very, very important as well. And you also want to get those high intent keywords. So we've got some right there for you. Pressure washing near me, of course, house pressure washing, your city here, driveway cleaning service, pressure cleaning service, driveway cleaning near me, roof cleaning near me, all that kind of near me, and then kind of ending in city type of keywords. You've seen this before. These are some of the keywords you need to be using in your pressure washing business's Google ad for it to be successful. And you can also use some free SEO keyword tools from Google. Those are also really good. You can actually use Google's keyword planner. That's a very, very good resource, to be using. Also, Uber Suggest is also a very, very good place to find those keywords as well. Now, here's some keywords to absolutely avoid in your pressure washing Google ad. Those broad terms like just cleaning or power washing alone is very, very generic for your Google ad, and it might get you some people you don't really want opting into your ad, right? Those DIY or those how-to keywords, I see sometimes when people set up their pressure washing Google ads that they show up under, kind of how to pressure wash a deck or how to pressure wash my house, or they show up kind of next to Home Depot's tutorial links or something like that. You don't want to pop up for any of those DIY or how-to searches, right? While there might be a lot of people searching for those things, you don't want to pop up at all for any of those DIY or how-to searches. Keywords that are unrelated to your service or the area, you don't want to pop up for any of those, of course. And of course, those free or job or training keywords as well, unless you're hiring. Hey, that's your prerogative, but you don't want any of the free or the job or jobs, or training or anything like that popping up in your Google ad either. So this is step 5, back to our 7-step plan, structuring your ad group. So you want to create separate groups for every service that you have at your pressure washing business. So if you have house washing, driveway cleaning, commercial pressure washing, residential pressure washing, roof cleaning, stuff like that, make different ad groups for those different services. You can actually see, what the CPC is. It actually lowers the CPC, but it actually keeps each ad group tightly used, and things like that. And it keeps the ad very specific is what I'm trying to say here. Excuse me. So yeah, I would create separate ad groups for each different service that you have at your pressure washing business. And step 6, or almost to the end, is writing high converting ads. So, really the ad copy and exactly what is on the ad stumbles a lot of people, and actually is one of the most important things and one of the important parts about your Google ad for your pressure washing business. So you need to be including keywords in the headline and the description so that Google can get a kind of a better understanding of exactly, of course, what kind of company you are and exactly what kind of service you're trying to rank for, who you're trying to basically target in your Google ad as well. Really highlight your unique offers, right? You're licensed and insured. You're fully licensed and insured, right? That's a very, very important thing. Same day service, satisfaction guaranteed. All of that needs to be in the ad copy or somewhere in that Google ad to really let Google know exactly what kind of company you are, let the consumer know the things that you offer and things like that at a moment's notice, because we know people don't really read these things. So the more you can have that fully just right there, the more you're going to get people to understand your company, be positioned to buy, and things like that. And finally, you need a strong CTA, a strong call to action. You need a call now button, a book online button, all that stuff like that, the whole 9 yards. That funnel, that landing page, that website needs to have tons of different calls to action to get their information locked in basically as soon as they click, right? Because we can't let a lead slip through. We need to get their information. We can get that through a strong call to action. Every Google ad needs a strong call to action to be successful as well. So step 7, final step here, is setting up conversion tracking. A lot of, people that are running Google ads, a lot of agencies even, it's surprising, actually don't set up conversion tracking properly. So, you really need to be tracking the leads, especially from Google ads for your pressure washing business via phone calls and contact form submissions. And this is kind of under that context, under that thought that, again, you have some sort of landing page or a website for those leads to go on with that Google ad, and they can kind of put in their information via that contact form and those lead form submissions on that website as well. And you want to be using Google Ads as conversion tracking. You can actually do that by using Google Ads, Google Search Console, also 2 very good tools that Google provides us to actually track our conversions from our Google ads as well. And it actually really ensures that you know which keywords and which ads are actually driving the business, right? Which ads are doing the best, and what your cost per click is, your cost per lead, your acquisition cost. Really keeping an eye on that is going to make sure that your pressure washing Google ad is very successful in the long run. So let's go ahead and get a quick recap of everything we talked about today. You need to be targeting the right location and the right keywords for your pressure washing Google ad. You need to be setting realistic budgets and bidding strategies, not something that's just completely outlandish, something that's realistic and something you can be strategic with over time in your pressure washing business. And you need to be writing focused ads with strong CTAs to actually get that customer's attention when they're on Google. And you need to be tracking conversions and optimizing weekly for the best ROI, looking at that conversion, look at those conversion rates, looking at the acquisition costs and the total acquisition for each client in your pressure washing business as well. I got you a lot of information. That was a lot of stuff. I say this at the end of every video. That was a lot. But you've always got three options. You can do nothing. You can get all this information. You're not going to do absolutely nothing. You can learn Google Ads on your own, or you can hire an expert. Our team here at the Code Chaser Digital Marketing. If you're ready to master Google Ads, if you need help with your Google ad campaigns, SEO, Facebook ads, building a new website, the whole 9 yards, give me a call, 972-619-7707. That's 972-619-7707. Or better yet, send me an email, info@thecodechasers.com. That's info@thecodechasers.com. Or book your free one-on-one discovery call. The link is in the description of this video. We're going to help you map out how you can get found online fast and get an online growth plan to help scale your pressure washing business to 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, and 7 figures and beyond. So if you're ready to master Google Ads, give us a call, send us an email. We'd love to help you. Thanks so much for watching this week. Hope you got some value, and we'll see you soon.